Florida,
where anything that runs, jumps, swims, flies, or rolls on four wheels is put to the test of performance. For over half a century, Florida has been one of the world's greatest proving grounds for automobiles. And the most celebrated test course of all is the famous Measured Mile at Daytona Beach, where cars of every make, model, type, and design have been put to the ultimate test of performance. Here in 1927, Major Seagrave's mighty Sunbeam first topped the 200-mile-an-hour mark. In its day, it was the fastest land-going vehicle on Earth. Now this famous beach will become the scene of a new kind of test.
Today, more than 35 cars and trucks, Chevrolet and competitive makes, have been assembled at the celebrated testing ground for your 1963 Chevrolet Product Performance Report. Decision at Daytona. I'm George Smith, your host. The first thing I want to stress is that the tests you are about to see are strictly on the level. Since a good many of you will undoubtedly go out and try some of these tests yourselves, it would be pointless for us to make any claims for Chevrolet that wouldn't stand up to the facts. So we kid you not. We will make no false claims for Chevrolet. We will make no exaggerated claims for Chevrolet. Everything you see will be exactly as it happened. All cars will have comparable engines, transmissions, rear axles, and tires. All engines will have been tuned up to factory specifications. Every effort will have been made to be completely fair to all vehicles involved. As a further assurance of authenticity, the Spence Chevrolet Company of Daytona Beach, Florida, will be on hand to observe the operation. I'd like you to meet these people.
Lee Spence, President, Spence Chevrolet, Daytona Beach.
I'm Merle Baumgartner, Sales Manager, Spence Chevrolet.
Dick Boo, Service Manager, Spence Chevrolet.
Gentlemen, thank you for being here. Now let's watch our first test.
It's Chevy 2 versus the competition in a rugged test of performance. Our hurdles race for Chevy 2, Valiant, Rambler, Falcon, and Fairlane. With more power per pound of car weight, the Chevy 2 in the far lane pushes out ahead. Let's run that again. This time as the Fairlane driver sees it. His hopeless position in the rear gives him an excellent view. Again, more power per pound gives Chevy 2 an extra spurt of acceleration needed not only here, but in all modern traffic conditions. This is a handling test to see how fast each car can make this U-turn without getting out of control. 30 miles an hour to begin with. Now at 45 miles an hour. Chevy 2 above, Falcon below. Chevy 2 above, Valiant below. Chevy 2 above, Comet below. Chevy 2 above, Rambler below. Chevy 2 above, Fairlane below. Performance is as important in a wagon as it is in a passenger car. Here, over 1,700 pounds of Florida oranges and grapefruit in the back of each of 3 wagons, Falcon, Rambler, and Chevy 2, will give us the story on station wagon performance. Now for the test. On signal, the drivers will floorboard the gas pedal in each vehicle. And there goes the Chevy 2. The same extra spurt of power that makes Chevy 2 a livelier car to drive also gives it quicker response as a wagon. Now the regular cars. Chevrolet versus the competition in performance. First with the 6-cylinder engines. Let's see that new 230 cubic inch 6 in action against the Ford and Plymouth 6s. Plymouth is close, but Ford is completely out of the picture. Now the V8s. Galaxie 352, Plymouth 318, Impala 327. It's an easy win for Chevrolet. The Impala was so far ahead of the Galaxie in that last race, let's take a smaller Impala, the 283 V8, and see what it can do against the Galaxie 352. Even with 25 horsepower less than the Galaxie, the Impala is again out front. A good many people assume that luxury cars like the $6,000 Ford Thunderbird are as much out of Chevrolet's performance class as they are out of its price class. Let's find out the truth about that. There's the Impala, well across the finish line, while the Thunderbird is completely out of the running. And that was only the 250 horsepower engine in the Impala. Next, the 425 horsepower, 409 cubic inch V8. Watch it in action against Ford's 406. Once again, it's Chevrolet. By the way, where do you suppose the camera was during those runs? In a 1963 fuel injection Corvette. 360 horsepower, all wrapped up in the neatest sports car package on the road today. Here's a test of passing acceleration to show what an extra margin of performance can mean in the time it takes to pass another vehicle. The trailer will maintain a steady 30-mile-an-hour speed. The light set up in the window of the trailer will give the drivers their signal to start. With the Galaxie 352, Watch for the starting light on the back of the trailer. Six seconds flat for the Galaxy. Fury 318. Five and a half seconds for the Fury. And Impala 327. Four and 6/10 seconds for the Impala. Ford, 6 seconds. Plymouth, 5 and a half. Impala, 4 and 6/10. Brakes and handling are involved in this test. The lights on the hoods, coupled to the brake pedals, are to let you know exactly when each car's brakes are applied. The paint rollers, set at exactly 4 inches above the pavement, will help judge nosedive. Chevrolet stops 12 feet ahead of the Plymouth, 20 feet ahead of the Ford. A vital margin of safety that could mean all the difference in the world in an emergency situation. All three of these cars claim to have anti-dive features. Let's see about that. Chevrolet dives slightly, but quickly recovers. Plymouth shows little dive, but has poor stopping power. Ford is a poor performer on both counts. Severe nosedive and poor stopping power. Here we blocked off a quiet residential street and laid out a test route that parallels the stop-and-go course that's so famous in many performance trials. We're going to have 3 cars go in and out of each driveway just as fast as they can and see which one can make it in the shortest possible time. 21 stop-and-goes, 31 changes of direction. A real screamer. The same 3 cars will participate. Impala 327, Fury 318, and Galaxy 352. Impala. Plymouth Fury. Ford Galaxy. And here's the end of the course. 72 seconds for the Impala. "82 seconds for the Plymouth. "93 seconds for the Ford. Although driver skill does play a part in a test like this, the Chevrolet couldn't have won without better brakes, better handling, and definitely quicker response. Undoubtedly, the best ride you can get anywhere is on a pair of water skis here at Cypress Gardens. But when it comes to automobiles, a motion picture camera in the back of each of 3 cars will give us an accurate record of ride in each one. Here are all 3 at once for comparison. Impala on the left, Fury in the center, Galaxy on the right. The Galaxy's ride is too bouncy. Plymouth's too harsh and jarring. Only Chevrolet has the perfect balance of softness and stability. Now let's take a look at special features. First, rocker panels. The smoke test shows how, with a Chevrolet, fresh air is drawn down from the cowl vent right through the Chevrolet's ventilated rocker panel and out the back, helping to keep it dry and rust-free. The test won't work on a Ford because Chevrolet is the only car with ventilated rocker panels. Here's a test to demonstrate the effectiveness of body insulation. The same microphone in each car will record the difference in sound. Listen first to the Ford. Now the Chevrolet. This time the sound is muffled. That's because of Chevrolet's more effective insulation, not only in the roof, but all through the car. Now let's take a look at some other features that spell the difference in comfort, convenience, and lasting value. For instance, just compare the springy foam cushion padding in the Chevrolet rear seat with the plain cotton batting in the Ford seat. Here's a test to show the comparative electrical power of Chevrolet's Delcatron and the Ford generator. Watch the light on the right as the man hooks it up to the Chevrolet Delcatron. Even though the tachometer shows that the engine is idling at 500 RPM, the light burns brightly. Now he'll hook the light up to the Ford generator. Notice the light does not come on until he speeds up the engine. Only with the Ford engine turning over at above 2,000 RPM does the light come on at all brightly. Chevrolet's Delcatron. More electrical power, longer battery life. Let's take a look at trunk capacity and the case of 2 wedding cakes.
Say,
Yes.
will you have me put this cake into the trunk of my Impala?
Sure.
Would you help me with my Galaxy?
Be glad to.
Thank you.
It'll never fit. Won't make it. Never make it. Impossible. Impossible. This I'm gonna see.
Why, you little...
And that about says it for Chevrolet trunk space. remember this? The new Ford Econoline pickup when it first came out in 1959. 3 years have passed. Let's see that same test with a 1963 Econoline. Even with the 175-pound counterweight Ford added to the rear end and with the heavier van body, this can still happen. Try the same test with the Corvan. No gymnastics here. And as you can see in this test, it still has the same amazing ability to get around in almost any kind of road condition. Again, the Econoline's poor basic design not only shows up in deficient handling, but in deficient performance as well. This fella seems to have caught himself quite a fish. Yes, he has indeed. It's a 1963 Ford Econoline. Hooked fast. Now let's see who lands who. That's a deep-sea rig he has, but only an 80-pound test line. The Econoline can't even break that 80-pound test line. Now, let's see how his tackle stands up to a Corvair 95 ramp side. Of weight, power, and traction makes the Corvair 95 a winner in any kind of performance competition. Now for the half tons. Notice how smoothly and easily the Chevrolet backs up this grade. Now watch the Ford. That's called power hop, the result of a badly outdated suspension design. This is a road clearance test. If that wooden post were a boulder, a stump, or a high road center, it would present no problem for a Chevrolet. But for a Ford, with its low-slung front axle, it could be disastrous. Next, basic body construction. A series of tests to determine comparative strength of cabs and bodies. First, a side door from a Corvan. We've applied all the power available from that truck. And yet, the Chevrolet door, with its sturdy, double-walled construction, shows no appreciable damage. Ford, that's a different story. The Ford door, with its single wall construction, is bent double. Chevy's structural rigidity really pays off. Another demonstration of body construction, sheet metal. Watch what a coconut does to the hoods of these two trucks. The Chevrolet, with its underhood bracing, scarcely a dent. The Ford, which has no bracing at all, a 2-inch buckle. Now for pickup floor strength. Barely a scratch in the strong wood and steel skid strip flooring of the Chevrolet. Now the Ford. The metal floor now has a permanent pocket where water will collect and rusting occur. And here's one final test of structural strength. The Ford tailgate doesn't even begin to support the weight of this 6,000-pound stake truck. Now, a Chevy tailgate. We don't expect Chevrolet truck owners to use the tailgate of their pickups for a bridge. But this test does point out one more reason why Chevy trucks last longer, work more, and are worth more on the trade. Chevy 2-ton trucks have a new, slimmer front end this year. And here's what that can mean in truck handling. It can mean the difference between crumpling a fender or clearing without a scratch, as in the Chevrolet. And now, one of the world's biggest drag lines. It weighs 3 million pounds and chews out a 34 cubic yard bit of earth at every bucketful. And it will start off our story on 1963 Corvair Performance. As a matter of fact, Corvair's performance has been proved so many times, words are no longer necessary. So let's just let it speak for itself. Top of Sand Mountain, the highest point in Florida. It's a 45-degree slope, 450 feet to the bottom. Now watch, as a Corvair is deliberately turned over and rolled down the side as an acid test of ruggedness. it is, from the top of the mountain right down to the bottom in 15 complete rollovers. Now let's see if the engine will start. You've seen your 1963 products put to the test. Corvair, Chevy 2, Chevrolet trucks, Corvette, and Chevrolet for 63. With advantages you can see, advantages you can prove, advantages you can sell.
Anywhere, anytime, the dramatically styled 1963 Chevrolet is the elegant way to go. There's a new bold look of beauty as displayed by this Impala sports sedan with its new rear window. And the beauty stays fresh because of the Magic Mirror acrylic lacquer finish. 15 solid colors and 11 two-tones are available. There are 7 new shades: saddle tan, ember red, Monaco blue, marine aqua, ivy green, cordovan brown, and palomar red. The 1963 Chevrolet lineup has 3 series: Impala, Bel Air, and Biscayne. The Bel Air Sport Coupe is eliminated. All of the 13 models blend high style and fashion with a jet smooth ride from full coil springs and a 4-link rear suspension. A new anodized aluminum grille gives the Chevrolet a big, bold look. For easier seeing by oncoming traffic and increased highway safety, the parking and directional signal lights are amber. The new compound curved windshield and parallel action electric wipers permit a wide field of vision. Twin wind splits flow along the smooth expanse of the hood. Twin bright metal bars decorate the front fenders of all Impalas. The Impala engine emblem is now located behind the front wheel opening. The optional white wall tires and wheel discs add elegance. Straight windshield pillars are keynotes on all Chevrolets. Impalas have new body side molding with a painted insert area. The insert is black with a white body color and white with all other colors, including two-tones. The stylish rear has a depressed center area on the broad deck lid. The rear cove on Impalas is framed with bright metal and highlighted by satin finish anodized aluminum trim panels. Backup lights are standard on Impalas. New for 63, the rocker panel ventilating and washing feature. Air enters through the double wall cowl and sweeps through the rocker panels, drying them of moisture, thereby helping to prevent corrosion. And the solid body by Fisher is even better. In 63, the door latch and pillar interlocks have twice the contact area of last year's units, making for extra safety. The spacious interiors accent luxury with new trim that's color keyed to exterior colors. All models, except the convertible, have vinyl headlining. Any Impala is available with one of 6 interior colors: saddle, fawn, aqua, red, blue, or green. 7 colors, including black, are offered in the sport sedan, sport coupe, and convertible. Luxurious Impala interiors have stylish armrests with built-in door release levers, carpeting, and bright front seat end panels. All Impalas, except the convertible, have pattern cloth and vinyl-covered seats. And every Chevrolet has a foam-cushioned front seat, vinyl sidewalls, crank-operated ventipanes, dual sunshades, and front seat belt anchors as standard equipment. The instrument cluster is deeply recessed, making it virtually glare-free. The instrument panel has bright trim plates and control knobs, ashtray, cigarette lighter, and an extra-large lockable glove box. Impalas have a glove box light as standard equipment. A new half-circle horn ring enables easier horn operation in the Impala. Single-tone steering wheels are used for saddle, black, and red interiors. Attractive two-tone wheels complement fawn, aqua, blue, and green interiors. All Impalas have an electric clock and parking brake light as standard equipment. Here is the Impala Sport Coupe. As a smart-looking optional feature, this model is available with a black or white vinyl top that is bonded snugly to the metal roof. For elegance galore, there's the Impala Convertible. New rubber body mounts give the convertible an even smoother ride. And for luxury unlimited, optional super sport versions of the convertible and the Sport Coupe have attractive nameplates, wheel discs, and special bright trim plates in the rear cove and in the insert area of the body side molding. The Impala convertible top now has a built-in tension cable along each side to hold the top tight against the side rails. This advancement reduces drafts and fabric flutter. The Impala convertible has an all-vinyl trim. A rear seat speaker grille is standard in the convertible and the Sport Coupe. As super sport models, the convertible and Sport Coupe have bucket front seats and a center console when equipped with the 4-speed manual or power glide transmission with a floor-mounted shift lever. This is the handsome Impala 4-door sedan. Filling out the Impala series are 6 and 9 passenger station wagons. The wagons now have the smart triple taillight arrangement, a highlight of the Impala series. Impala wagons have carpeting on the passenger floor. On the fixed load floor, as well as on the load surfaces of the converting seats and tailgate platform, vinyl-coated textured metal is used. Vinyl upholsters the rear quarter sidewalls. Now, the middle-of-the-line models, the Bel Airs. This 4-door sedan displays the new body side molding that distinguishes every Bel Air for 1963. All Bel Airs have the rear cove outlined with bright metal molding. Dual tail lights at each side are other stylish touches. The spacious trunk of the Bel Air sedans, like the trunks of all other Chevrolets, has a very low sill for easy loading and a deep well for hauling extra high items. The rich-looking Bel Air interiors are offered in 5 colors: red, fawn, aqua, blue, and green. Seats are covered with pattern cloth and vinyl. Passenger floors have new deep twist carpeting. The Bel Air instrument panel features a bright metal molding across the full width of the console. The single-tone steering wheel has a half-circle horn ring. A glove box light is standard equipment. Other models in the Bel Air lineup are the 2-door sedan, 6-passenger station wagon, and 9-passenger station wagon. In the Bel Air station wagons, vinyl-coated textured metal is used on the fixed load floor, load surfaces of the converting seats, and tailgate platform. For economical big car comfort and elegance, there is the Biscayne series, distinguished by bright metal molding at the side of the body. Besides the 2- and 4-door sedans, this series also includes the Biscayne station wagon. This 4-door, 6-passenger model, like all Chevrolet wagons, has a roll-down rear window, counterbalanced tailgate, and a concealed stowage compartment. Seats of Biscayne sedans are upholstered with pattern cloth and vinyl. All Biscaynes have vinyl-coated rubber floor mats on the passenger floor. The steering wheel with a horn button is color-keyed to the interiors, available in 3 colors: fawn, aqua, or red. The interior of the Biscayne wagon is all vinyl. The fixed load floor, load surface of the second seat, tailgate platform, and rear quarter sidewalls are vinyl-coated textured metal. Any Chevrolet is eager to go with the surge from any one of 7 engines. There's the 140 horsepower Turbo Thrift 230, an all-new 6, and a new 340 horsepower Turbo Fire 409 V8. 5 other Turbo Fire V8s are available with these horsepowers: 195, 250, 300, 400, and 425. 4 transmissions are offered: lightweight aluminum-cased power glide, 3-speed synchromesh, overdrive, and 4-speed synchromesh with floor-mounted shift lever. All Chevrolets have self-adjusting brakes for safer driving and operating economy. Other economy features are an aluminized muffler, Delcatron generator, along with extended lubrication and oil change intervals. In 1963, the Chevrolet is the ultimate in fashionable motoring. Anytime, anywhere, the Impalas, Bel Airs, and Biscaynes are the elegant way to go.
The Corvair and Corvette for 1963 will certainly attract attention with their sporty looks, snappy performance, and nimble handling. The Corvair comes in 3 series: the 500, 700, and Monza 900. No station wagons are offered in 1963. The Greenbrier sports wagon, however, is available in deluxe and custom models. The Corvair 500, 700, and Monza models, like this Monza Coupe, have a finish of magic mirror acrylic lacquer in any one of 15 solid colors. 11 two-tones are offered on all Corvairs except Monza's. 15 solid and 15 two-tone combinations of enamel are available on Greenbriers. At the front, amber parking and directional signal lights are easier to see by oncoming traffic for greater safety. A bright metal molding with an insert area painted black extends across the front panel. The lowness of the Corvairs is evidenced through a profile view. Stylish rocker sill moldings and wheel discs, standard equipment, give the Monzas a look of glamour. At the rear, the trim and sporty Corvairs have new taillight treatment, and Monzas have backup lights, bright metal license plate cavity frame, and dual simulated exhaust ports at no extra cost. Inside all Corvairs, the new trim is color-keyed to exterior colors. Every Corvair has vinyl sidewall insert panels, front armrests, a foam-cushioned front seat, and front seat belt anchors. Vinyl bucket front seats with bright metal end panels and all vinyl interiors give the Monzas extra luxury. And the beautiful Monza interiors come in 7 colors: fawn, aqua, red, blue, black, saddle, or white. The instrument panel is handy and fashionable. A stylish steering wheel, colorful glove box emblem, glove box light, and carpeting are Monza plus values. All Corvairs have a cigarette lighter and dual sunshades. And here is the Monza 4-door sedan, as fitting for the sportsman as for the family man. A fold-down rear seat is standard equipment in both the Monza sedan and the coupe. For just plain fun, there's the dashing Monza convertible. Both the convertible and coupe are available with the Spider option, highlighted by the turbocharged engine. Spiders have special nameplates on the front fenders, engine compartment lid, steering wheel, and glove box door. The eye-catching convertible interior has rear ashtrays and armrests and dual courtesy lights as standard equipment. When equipped as a Spider, the convertible or coupe has a tachometer, manifold pressure gauge, and cylinder head temperature gauge. The Monza convertible is available with a counterbalance top or with an optional power top of white, black, or beige. A built-in tension cable at each side rail keeps the top snug and reduces fabric flutter and drafts. Here's a good-looking twosome, the Corvair 700 2-door coupe and 4-door sedan. Both have bright metal molding across the front, on the front fenders and front doors, and at the rocker sill. Interiors of 700 models feature vinyl headlining, cloth and vinyl covered seats, and vinyl coated rubber floor mats. 4 colors, fawn, aqua, red, and blue are offered. Then for solid value, Corvair offers the 500 2-door coupe. It's the lowest priced model in the line and packs every major feature of all other Corvairs, including the 4-wheel independent coil suspension, virtually flat floor, integrated body and frame, lockable front luggage compartment, parallel action electric wipers, and new double lip door locks. The all-vinyl interior of the Corvair 500 two-door coupe comes in 3 colors: red, fawn, or aqua. Black rubber floor mats complete the interior trim. Next, there's the Greenbrier Sports Wagon. Inside, the custom models come in a choice of red, fawn, light green, or turquoise. The interior of the deluxe Greenbrier is styled in fawn color. The Greenbrier and all Corvair 500, 700, and Monza models are sporty and snappy. Under the engine compartment lid, there's the air-cooled aluminum Turbo Air 145 engine with hydraulic valve lifters, oil filter, and automatic chokes. Horsepower ratings are 80, 84, and 102. The 150 horsepower turbocharged 145 engine is standard on Spider models. 3 transmissions are offered: 3-speed Synchromesh, 4-speed Synchromesh, and Corvair Power Glide. Now for the supreme in sports cars. The completely new Corvette Stingray with outstanding advancements in styling, body and frame construction, suspension, and power teams. In '63, the Corvette comes in 2 thrilling Stingray models. This Corvette Stingray Sport Coupe has a wrap-over rear window and doors that wrap into the roof for new highs in styling. Here's the Corvette Stingray Convertible. It's available with a folding soft top or a removable hard top. The folding top is offered in black, white, or beige. Both Stingray models have wheel discs, rocker sill molding, and compound curved door glass as standard equipment. The long, low hood flows smoothly down to cover panels that conceal retractable dual headlights. Sporty twin simulated grills flank the hood wind split. Crossed flags and a deep V form the handsome front emblem. Headlights are rotated to the exposed position by electric motors. Manual provisions for rotating the headlights are also built into the Corvette. Amber parking and directional signal lights are standard equipment. For a stylish note, a center wind split highlights the roof of the Sport Coupe. 7 beautiful solid colors are offered for both models. The rear smoothness of the Corvette is not broken by the conventional deck lid. Luggage is stored from within the passenger compartment. The spare tire is stowed below the body at the rear in a special housing. Inside, the Corvette features all vinyl treatment in a choice of 4 colors: dark blue, black, red, or saddle. Bucket seats, armrests, carpeting, dual red safety reflectors at the inside of each door, crank-operated ventipanes, tachometer, electric clock, cigarette lighter, and dual sunshades are standard equipment. Genuine leather seat trim in saddle color is offered as an option. A single hooded cluster of instruments is at the driver's fingertips. On the passenger side, a similar hooded area houses a lockable lighted glove box. Behind the attractive Corvette Stingray styling stands high-quality construction. First, there's the all-new Corvette body. A structural network of steel is combined with fiberglass reinforced plastic body panels for increased rigidity. Interlocks of the pillars and door latches feature an advanced double-lip design for better locking of doors. And Corvette's newness extends into the extra-rigid all-welded steel perimeter frame with 5 cross members. The frame is closely integrated to the body through 12 body mounts. Strength, agility, and durability are built into the Corvette chassis. These are some of the superb features: spherical joint independent front suspension, ball race steering, independent rear suspension with 3 links and transverse leaf spring, and extra large brakes with bonded linings. Under the hood, there's plenty of power. Offered are 3 carburetor V8s and a fuel injection V8, all with an oil filter and Delcatron generator. Horsepower ratings are 250, 300, 340, and 360. With the fuel injection V8, a warning buzzer sounds within the Corvette when excessive RPMs are reached. 3 transmissions are available on Corvettes: 3-speed Synchromesh, 4-speed Synchromesh, and Corvette Power Glide. So the 1963 Corvette is built for a lot of doing and going. What's more, the Corvair and the Corvette have many pluses, such things as self-adjusting brakes and an aluminized muffler, along with extended periods between lubrications and oil changes. For one of the 2 thrilling sports in 1963, there's the Corvair, the car with superb handling, traction, braking, and steering. And for the ultimate in sports car driving, there's the Corvette Stingray, the newest in America's sports cars.
Hello, I'm Al Olson, manager of the Commercial and Truck Department. I'm speaking to you from Mexico, the southernmost tip of Baja, or Lower California. We're here to test our 1963 trucks and their components under the toughest working conditions that we could find. To telescope into a few weeks the kind of abuse that few trucks take in a virtual lifetime of hard work. First, we selected units representative of our regular truck line, 6 in all, light, medium, and heavy duty. Representative engines were selected, including our new 6-cylinder jobs and a diesel. We started our 10,000-mile run from the proving ground at Milford, Michigan. Our full trip includes turnpikes, big city traffic, mountain passes, and desert heat as high as 120 degrees. We entered Mexico at Tijuana. And to fully appreciate what we've been through, it's important to know something about this part of the world known as the Baja Peninsula. It's over 1,000 miles long, lying directly south of our state of California. Our route so far has taken us the entire length of the peninsula to where we are now at the extreme southern tip. This is a little-known part of the world, but nowhere else on the North American continent will you find such rugged terrain for so long a distance. An ideal place to test the reliability and quality of our trucks. As we followed our route south of the border, the pavement ended about 125 miles south of Tijuana. Then the roads became trails, and the trails became rocky ruts. We forded rivers, inched up mountainsides, plunged through desert sand and dust, as much as a foot deep. To give you some concept of the spine-jarring, truck-smashing nature of this test, which was conducted under actual heavy load conditions, day after day, we averaged only 8 to 10 miles an hour, coming down the length of the Baja Peninsula. 1,000 miles down, and now 1,000 miles back. In a moment, you'll see convincing proof of the deep-down, rugged reliability and quality built into every Chevrolet truck. We know that you're going to be just as enthusiastic as we are about the quality and reliability of your 1963 truck product. So we invite you to join us in a journey down the roughest run under the sun.
Bienvenidos, amigos. Welcome to Mexico. The time is summer 1962. The place is the border city, Tijuana, Mexico, a few miles south of our own San Diego, California. The visitors are 6 1963 models of the Chevrolet truck line, traveling in caravan as honored guests of the governors of Baja California. The Baja, or Lower Peninsula of Mexican California, extends over 1,000 driving miles south of the border. Heading south, about 60 miles of good blacktop highway gives the drivers and engineers of the caravan a final chance to evaluate the handling and performance of their vehicles under normal conditions. Our good neighbor Mexico has many miles of fine highways, but very few of them extend south into the Baja Peninsula. In fact, only a few hours beyond the border, there begins what is possibly the longest, roughest stretch of least traveled highway in all the world today. The very few who have traveled its full length describe it as 900 miles of sheer chaos, a made-to-order torture test for anything on wheels. For some distance, the narrow, rock-strewn road borders the cool waters of the Pacific. Then, with almost 3/4 of the way yet to go, the route swerves sharply inland to the very center of the Baja Desert. In the flat, waterless wasteland, populated only by an endless variety of weird and often poisonous cactus growth, the dust begins to roll, and the thermometer climbs above 120 degrees in the shade, and far higher in the broiling sun. And now, amid the rocks and the sand and the blinding dust, and in all the blistering, unrelenting heat, the real purpose of the caravan becomes apparent. That purpose is to prove the performance, economy, reliability, and durability of the 1963 Chevrolet truck line by subjecting these trucks to the most difficult possible working conditions on the toughest run under the sun. All the trucks are fully loaded, some of them to the point of extreme capacity. The trucks themselves have been selected to represent a broad sampling of the 1963 Chevrolet truck line. Likewise, the choice of engines was based on getting a wide variety for testing under grueling conditions. In this fleet-side pickup, the new high-torque 230 cubic inch 6-cylinder engine. And in this 60 series 2-tonner, the new high-torque 292 cubic inch 6-cylinder engine will be put to the test. Chevrolet's famed V8 engines, light and heavy duty, are included. The powerful and versatile diesel engine, too, will have a chance to prove its tremendous flexibility. In the desert, choking, drifting, swirling clouds of talcum powder dust engulf the caravan, blind the drivers, quickly penetrate any opening that is not perfectly sealed. The trial by dust reaches a climax in the huge emptiness of the dry lake called Chapala. Dust enough and heat enough to cripple many engines. But the superior cooling and breathing systems of Chevrolet truck engines stand up to the challenge in every way. Through the hundreds of miles of baking desert, at altitudes ranging from sea level to over 5,000 feet, the caravan fights its way. On rare occasions, speeds up to 25 miles an hour are possible. But most of the time, for mile after endless mile, the roads permit only 6, 8, or 10 miles per hour top speed, with the trucks traveling all day long without getting into high gear. Passing through tiny, isolated villages, the parade of 6 modern trucks will long be remembered by old and young. More and more mountains to cross, each with hundreds of wrenching twists and jolts to punish wheels, suspensions, and frames, causing shocks equal to tons of overload. The new suspensions on medium and heavy-duty models are entirely new engineering concepts. The solid front axle, combined with variable rate springs, proves over and over again its ability to take the toughest punishment. The light-duty models also feature a new suspension. Coil springs in front and new two-stage coil springs in the rear give the industry's best ride, plus greater load-carrying capacity, especially in rough going like this, where years of normal truck life are compressed into a few days. Up hill and down, over mountain ranges and through steep walled valleys, the Caravan presses on. Then near the halfway mark comes welcome relief as the road leads into a desert oasis. A detour takes the Caravan around a narrow finger of the Gulf of California, a flimsy shelf of road that is flooded by every incoming tide. The result? A tricky trail where handling ease, maneuverability, and positive control are important to the driver. Once more, a brief run along the coastline of the Gulf of California. The Caravan actually skims along the high tide mark of the exquisitely beautiful Concepcion Bay. Again, the roads are narrow and treacherous, a jumble of rocks and boulders, dangerous and slippery footing on the hairpin turns and switchbacks. There's only one way to go, straight ahead, when the road becomes so narrow that the rocky walls on both sides almost form a tunnel. But for 1963, most heavy and medium-duty models feature narrower sheet metal and narrow front ends that are a big help in squeezing through the tight places. Wrenching turns and slamming jolts could break the backs of ordinary trucks. But Chevrolet's new ladder-type frames with heavier side rails carry full capacity loads with ease. More proof that Chevrolet trucks go anywhere. Whether fighting the way through deep drifted sand or clawing up steep grades, the engines of the Caravan deliver top power and performance hour after hour. Here, the new 230 cubic inch 6 makes the mountain grades look easy. And the mighty power of the high torque 409 V8 engine takes the fully loaded tandem through the deepest gullies. When the going is toughest, the drivers demand and get maximum performance from their trucks, often shifting gears as many as 100 times in a single hour, 10 or even 12 hours at a stretch. Yet, the Chevrolet offers a smoother ride, more handling ease, more response for every driving requirement, even on this punishing trail. And there is more of everything to come. Steeper mountains, hotter deserts, and something new, rivers to cross. Plowing through rivers isn't exactly an endurance test, but it does furnish one more proof of the extra capabilities of Chevrolet trucks for off-the-road tough jobs. The riverbed is full of football-sized boulders and deep potholes, But Chevrolet's new suspension is built to take treatment like this. And after all the beating they have taken, the Chevrolet cabs and doors are still tightly sealed. The generous road clearance, the high torque, and the top location of air intakes and electrical systems brings Chevrolets through where other trucks may fail. "10 days, 120 driving hours, and almost 800 miles from the last hardtop road, the travel-worn motorcade reaches the hard surface road leading to La Paz, the southern capital of Baja California. After a brief stop, well-deserved and much-needed showers, hot meals, soft beds, the caravan spearheads into the final leg of its journey toward the equator. Half a day beyond La Paz, it crosses the Tropic of Cancer. Another 50 miles, and 6 triumphant drivers in 6 conquering trucks roll onto a flat mountaintop at the very southernmost tip of the peninsula. This is the destination, but not the goal. The goal calls for yet another 5,000 miles of test driving, including more than 1,000 miles retracing the tortuous way back through the mountains and the deserts to the United States border. Testing again and again the maximum endurance of every part of every truck in the caravan. Yes, the road back is rough, but 1963 Chevrolet trucks show again and again that their new frames can handle back-breaking loads and impact shocks. Then ask for more. Chevrolet's new suspensions, subjected to unbelievable torture, demonstrate that no road can be too rough. And Chevrolet engines match outstanding economy with outstanding performance under conditions ordinary trucks might never meet in a lifetime of hard work. Performance, economy, reliability, durability. Chevrolet trucks have them all. They've proved it on the toughest run under the sun.
Build up for a great letdown. But now, take a look at the goingest beauty in the big. Get set and away we go.
Europe, 1950. New sights and new sounds flash across the continent as road racing erupts into a truly international sport. A new vocabulary of names and places develops. Names like Ferrari, Porsche, MG, Austin Healey, Lancia, Alfa Romeo, and many more. Places like Le Mans, France, Nürburgring, Germany, Monza, Italy, and the road races of Monte Carlo, Belgium, and other European nations. This new vocabulary is spoken not only by drivers, but by 25 million spectators who make road racing the world's most popular sport. There is more than fun involved in road racing. There is the need for high-performance vehicles, skilled drivers to handle them, and challenging courses where men and machines can test their mettle. This, in turn, leads to significant engineering advancements, to independent four-wheel suspension systems, high-compression engines, fuel injection, self-adjusting brakes, and new frame and body designs. While the excitement of sports cars and sports car driving gains momentum in Europe throughout the early 50s, there is excitement of another kind in the United States, where competitive events are still being held in the traditional American way. big racing cars on closed-circuit oval tracks with all turns banked and a major emphasis on speed. But much of this is to change in the fall of 1953, when America's largest producer of automobiles takes a significant step forward, filling the sports car void in this country by introducing America's only true sports car. European road racing had proved that a true sports car is a very specialized vehicle. It puts a greater premium on handling and maneuverability than on speed alone. It emphasizes cornering, steering, and road holding. And it calls for something special from its drivers, a sense of challenge, a love of precision, a respect for power. American recognition of these and other requirements was reflected in the 1953 Corvette. It was continued with year-to-year styling and engineering refinements during the following 9 years, as Corvette proved itself not only as a quality sports car, but as a competition car too. These basic ideas in sports car going, this same drive to improve through experience, have been brought to the here and now in the dramatic, exciting 1963 Corvette Stingray. The idea of the new Corvette Stingray was conceived at the General Motors Technical Center, where designers and engineers were given free rein to develop a distinctly different kind of sports car from the ground up. Once overall design requirements for a convertible and a sports coupe were established, and major components had been built and pre-tested, the next major step was the construction of pre-production prototype models to check out design and engineering details of the finished cars. Beginning with a one-piece underbody, the first handmade prototype, a sports coupe, takes shape and form on a perfectly level surface plate in the fiberglass body shop. For this new fastback model, the passenger compartment is completely framed in a steel network that in non-technical language is known as the birdcage. It isn't long before the surface plate is filled with clamps and fixtures as additional body sections are assembled like a giant jigsaw puzzle. Each new section is carefully fitted into place, then prepared for bonding to adjacent panels. All of the pieces that make a complete prototype body, including this rear quarter panel, are formed in plaster molds that are hand cast from wood patterns. After the molds are treated with a coat of resin, fiberglass cloth is carefully hand fitted to their contours, then coated with more resin. When the plastic material has set and been trimmed, the panel is taken out of the mold and fitted into a sub-assembly consisting of the roof and the opposite rear quarter panel. A rear end panel across the back completes the four-piece sub-assembly. Fiberglass reinforcing strips are then bonded along all seams for added strength and rigidity. With the roof and rear fender assembly now joined into a single unit, the entire piece is lifted out of its special fixture and bonded directly to the underbody and birdcage. The birdcage is designed to provide steel support for the fiberglass roof section in the passenger area of the fastback model. This marriage of steel and fiberglass also results in a stronger body with increased torsional rigidity. While each piece of the prototype body, including front fender panels, is carefully and accurately joined on the surface plate in the fiberglass body shop, a prototype frame for the new sports car takes shape on another surface plate in the experimental frame shop. The shorter frame for the 98-inch wheelbase car is entirely new, a rigid perimeter unit with 5 cross members. The all-welded steel structure formed by these members results in greater torsional stiffness, while closed side members outline the entire passenger compartment. Sports car design requirements are also evident in the rear sub-assembly of the frame, where twin exhaust pipes will pass not under, but through the intermediate cross member. As the frame continues taking shape, constant checks against engineering and production standards are made. Then, the two sub-assemblies are welded together, and the completed frame is moved into the paint shop for final finishing. Soon afterward, frame and body are ready to be joined temporarily to check fit, accuracy, and alignment, and to transport the body to the paint shop. The clutter of fixtures surrounding the fiberglass body is removed, revealing a distinctly different sports car look. The hood line is long, low, and tapered. Later, retractable headlights will be installed to complete the smooth, sweeping effect. The body is also significantly lower and more compact than in previous years, yet some interior dimensions have actually been increased. And for easy entry and exit, door openings wrap right into the roof panel. Providing a complete set of handmade trim for the prototype interior is the responsibility of the engineering trim shop. Here, as elsewhere during the construction of prototype models, highly specialized skills are called for. This handcrafted pre-production seat, for example, is designed to combine a deeper bucket with more wraparound support in the back section. Objective, increased driving and riding comfort. Because beauty is important too, standard seats are covered with pleated leather grain vinyl. For a plush touch, genuine leather seat trim is optional. Every part on a pre-production car calls for specialized attention. Someone to design it and someone to make it. Prototype body hardware, for instance, is die cast one piece at a time in the engineering foundry. But the precision molds are made from wood models, and the hand-carved wood models are made from blueprints. And the blueprints are based on sketches drawn by stylists. The end result of this long chain of skills can be something as large as a complete fiberglass body or as small as a zinc nameplate. Then, when every component has passed through testing, manufacturing, and finishing steps, final assembly of the prototype car gets underway. Assembly proceeds from the ground up, starting with the prototype frame and a completely new rear suspension system. First, to decrease the unsprung weight of the car and thereby produce true sports car ride and road handling, a rubber isolated differential is bolted to the frame. Additional stability is provided by a unique 3-link suspension unit attached at each rear wheel. One link absorbs acceleration and braking forces, another controls forces set up by twists and turns. And a separate axle shaft with double universal joints forms the 3rd link in each rear suspension unit. The shaft transmits some of the lateral forces created in turns to the fixed differential, which in turn channels them to the sprung weight of the frame. The net result of this entirely new unit is a fully independent rear suspension system for greater control on starts, stops, and turns on the highway and in competitive driving. A transverse multi-leaf spring is also part of the rear suspension system, but is designed to handle vertical forces only. Full 4-wheel independent suspension is achieved with the introduction of a new coil spring design for the front wheels. Steering is also improved and allows quick changes from standard steering ratios to a faster ratio for competitive requirements by repositioning the tie rods. Steering, handling, and traction are improved too, because unlike most front-engine cars, the Corvette carries over 50% of its weight on the rear wheels. Now the fiberglass body, which has been sprayed with an experimental metallic color, is lowered on the chassis and bolted down to 8 body mounts. Alignment of the wrap-over doors is checked. The ends of the transverse multi-leaf spring are bolted in place. And the final assembly of the interior and exterior of the car now becomes a matter of nuts and bolts, plus several hundred other parts. Each has its own production number, which has been carefully recorded in the parts catalog for the prototype car. Whether big or small, whether a production part or a handmade piece, every component has been requisitioned and is on hand when required. With the prototype rapidly reaching its completion and evaluation date, skilled assemblers work round the clock to meet predetermined build schedules. Soon, the prototype interior is completed, down to the very last screw and washer. Rapid progress is also made in the outside appearance of the car, which takes on a distinctive look and personality all its own. Electrically rotated headlights, for example, are a key design feature of the prototype. The lights are operated from inside the car by two controls. One reveals and retracts the twin units. The other turns the lights on and off. With the lights in their concealed position, front-end styling has a smooth aerodynamic flow. At the rear of the car, the gas filler tube cover for the standard 20-gallon tank or optional 36-gallon tank is attached. Later, the distinctive Corvette emblem will add a styling highlight to the cover. Finally, the spare wheel is raised into a concealed well beneath the gasoline tank. A major checkpoint has now been reached. For the prototype sports car, after nearly 2 years of planning, designing, and pre-testing, and the individual efforts of hundreds of people, is a completed reality. It moves now to the test car garage, where final changes will be made in paint, parts, and engineering specifications before final evaluation of a convertible and a sports coupe begins at the General Motors Proving Ground. Here, a group of Chevrolet research and development engineers and Zora Arkastuntov, staff engineer in charge of high-performance vehicles, are joined by two well-known Corvette drivers, Dr. Dick Thompson and Dave McDonald. Their purpose? To evaluate a Stingray convertible and a Stingray fastback. Two prototypes which reflect a full decade of sports car experience by stylists, engineers, research and testing personnel, production experts, and individual craftsmen of 100 different skills. Yes, it takes people with know-how, plus a nationwide network of manufacturing facilities to produce a distinctively different car, a car worthy of its sports car designation. Nothing illustrates all of this better than the sight and sound of the new Corvette itself. So watch and listen to this new and dramatic idea in sports car going.
It was exciting. All right. Let's stop being excited. Tell me your general feel.
It was a great improvement over the 62. It's sure quite a car we got this time. You've had power for some time, but now you've got the other finer points to go with it.
Dick, tell me, what do you think about acceleration and traction?
It was very difficult to actually spin the wheels starting off. I think this will be important not only to Dave and myself under racing conditions, but to the average public driving on the highway. The average person accelerating off, say in slippery weather even, or on dry pavement, will have the car much more under control.
Dave, what do you think of inside of the car?
Well, the dash arrangement this year is one thing I noticed right away, and the way the instruments are arranged this year, it's awful easy to pick out what you're looking for, whether it's the speedometer, the tach, or the oil pressure, or something like that.
Tell me, Dick, how do you feel about the driving position, pedal arrangement, all the interior?
It was very comfortable, Zora. I have a particular problem with my legs clearing under the steering wheel, and in this particular car, why they clear the steering wheel very nicely. We were very happy with it. Weren't you happy, Dave?
Sure was, and it not only looks like a dream car, it even handles like one. At any speed, it's beautiful.
Yes, the 1963 Corvette Stingray is the sports car with a European heritage, but an American biography. A biography that summarizes a decade of outstanding achievement in design, performance, and engineering by Corvette, America's sports car.
That's one biography you won't find in a book. And here's another story worth telling. How Chevrolet's parts team is always at your service.
See if you don't think this is the most exciting car in America today. Know what makes this car so exciting besides its obvious style? It's the Corvette's not-so-obvious engineering. The things you feel but don't see. The things that led Car Life magazine to award Corvette its coveted Engineering Excellence Award. Here's what Car Life magazine says about the Corvette Stingray. The Stingray has a chassis and suspension system years ahead of contemporary sedans. Bold in concept, thoroughly tested, meticulously manufactured. Handling has been vastly improved. The car is much more stable at any speed and thus safer. Chevrolet engineers assigned to the Corvette project have done an outstanding job. We unanimously vote them Car Life's 1963 award for engineering excellence. The fact is, the Corvette is a specialized machine built for people who want the ultimate in driving. But this same spirit of engineering, this idea of special design for special needs, is true for all of Chevrolet's 4 entirely different kinds of cars for 63. The Chevy 2, designed for people who want practical transportation in its most luxurious package, the Chevy 2. The Corvair, an exciting blend of family car and sport car, a family sports car. The most popular of all, the 1963 Chevrolet Impala with the jet-smooth look of luxury. 4 entirely different kinds of cars, but all with the spirit of the award-winning Corvette. The cars that keep Chevrolet going great in 63 at your Chevrolet dealers.